Hey guys, welcome back to another story time. For today's video, we are going to be talking about my experiences in home health. Protected by HIPAA, of course. So we will not be using any names of people or agencies. So this agency I worked for was back in 2014. I went through a lot of ups and downs with this agency because they kept sending me to places that were just ridiculous. Let's start with the main one. When I got to said client's house, they have a folder of paperwork. You take out the paperwork, you read about it, and then you go in, address the client, and then you start doing your daily activities like cleaning or personal care needs that you're supposed to do. Well, this particular day, there was a paper that looked like coffee had been spilt all over it, so the wording was mucky and you couldn't read anything that it said. Me being the informative person that I am, I like to read my paperwork and make sure I'm doing the correct stuff. So I phoned into work and I asked, hey, this paperwork is mucky. What is going on with said client and what needs done? They proceeded to tell me, oh, it's okay. They do so-and-so and cleaning this and that. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to go in and do my work. Well, when I went into this client's house, I noticed that they didn't want me to touch anything. Like, it was really strange. Like, you can't really touch anything in the bathroom or like in the living room or just in the kitchen, like nothing at all. So they were talking in the living room and I overheard them saying something about being HIV positive. I'm like, excuse me, what? Not only did they send me into a house without the proper paperwork, but they sent me into a house knowing that they were HIV positive and continued to let me go in anyways without any kind of gloves, protection, or send me with anything along that nature. I would have had my own, but this agency provided the necessities that we were supposed to take with us, so I did not have any that particular day. So I phoned work back and I asked them, I said, did you know that this is the case with this client and that they were HIV positive? And they said yes. They willingly knew and sent me in somewhere where there was a medical condition that had some problems going on and had some health issues. Now, I understand the circumstances and there is nothing wrong with being, HIV positive, but to send me in somewhere knowing that they had some health issues going on and just did not tell me, that is uncalled for. Because I have 4 children at home and I want to protect the client as much as I want to protect myself. What if I was to cut my hand on a fork or something that they used and then, it transferred to me? Or if I got them sicker than they were, anything can happen in a situation like that. So I finished up what I was doing and then I left that client's house for that day. Then another situation, they sent me about 15 miles from my house. Now there were 3 people living in this particular client's house. There was a mom, a grandma, and their daughter. The grandma was my only said client at this particular location. So much went wrong so quickly. I was there for the client, not the client's pet. I would clean the client's house, and then their animals would make a mess, making it even more dirty. And I finally let them know that I am not there to clean up their animals. I am there for the client and the client only. Well, they did not like that very much, so they started calling in on me, saying that I wasn't doing dishes, I wasn't cleaning like I was supposed to, if they didn't get their way. Like, for instance, I would go clean the bathroom and find these giant pull-up diapers in the sink. Me thinking that they were my clients, I disposed of them and everything, and then I would just find more everywhere. But it was weird to me because I never saw my client put any of these diaper things on or use them any. Come to find out, it was the teenage daughter who had a disability wearing these diapers and just laying them all over the house. Once again, that is not my job to clean that up because my client was not the patient using those diapers. Now, I was nice about it and did it a few times, but when they started being rude about it, that's when I addressed the situation as I'm there only for my client and not for the client's family members. One particular day I went over there, enough was enough. They had this man living outside in an RV, and once in a while, he would come sit at their kitchen table. Now, he would say a few words every now and then, but one day I sat there talking to the client. He just wanted to talk his head off. And I didn't like this particular fella. He was very creepy, very weird, and then one day I refused to talk to him and told him I had to get stuff done, had to get my cleaning done, and he was just really weird. He also looked very familiar, like I have seen him somewhere before. So naturally, I Googled him to see who he was. Come to find out, he was a registered pedophile. He was a sex offender, and he was living there, and he was around me. Not only did I call my work, but I asked them if they knew that he was a sex offender and he was living there. And do you know what they told me? They knew the entire time. Who sends somebody into a house without willingly telling somebody that they are said sex offender? I'm just thinking all the times that I had upset this man, not wanting to speak to him, and he could have turned around and done something to me. So it's either call the board or, talk to the agency and ask them why they keep sending me to places without, proper information. That is so uncalled for and so unprofessional. What if something did happen to me? What would I tell my kids? So after I got my certificate with that program, I decided that it was time to leave and find a better job. Not only did I not want to subject myself to be put in another situation like that, but the unprofessionalism in that job was just, crazy enough. Thank you guys for listening to my stories, and if you have any crazy stories like mine, please leave me a comment below. I would love to hear them. It was just insane to me that a home health agency would not share that information, especially with their employees. Did I mention that I drive by all the time and that home health agency is no longer in business? Love you guys. See you in the next video.